Welcome back to my YouTube channel. We explore the fascinating world of rare and valuable coins, and today we have an incredible story that has taken the coin collecting community by storm, the unbelievable tale of the 2023 1-cent coin that's been valued at an astounding $7 million. Yes, you heard it right, a simple modern penny from the year 2023 that has shocked collectors, experts, and even the US Mint because of its extraordinary errors and mistakes that turned an ordinary coin into a multi-million-dollar treasure. So let's dive deep into how this small copper-colored piece of metal became one of the most talked-about coins in recent history, what went wrong during its minting process, and why collectors around the world are willing to pay a fortune for it. The story begins with the 2023 Lincoln cent, a coin that most people barely notice in their pockets, typically made from copper-plated zinc weighing 2.5 grams and struck at several mints including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco for proof issues. But among the millions of coins struck that year, a few extremely rare examples came out with shocking mistakes that no one expected in the age of high-precision minting technology, and one of those coins turned out to have a combination of multiple mint errors that made it a once-in-a-lifetime discovery. Imagine finding a 2023 penny that looks slightly off, its surface gleaming with an odd shimmer, its rim uneven, its strike misaligned just enough to catch the eye of an experienced collector. When examined closely, this particular coin revealed a jaw-dropping combination of a double die obverse, an off-center strike, a rare planchet composition mix-up, and even subtle die cracks that ran like tiny lightning bolts across Lincoln's profile, all of which contributed to its uniqueness and sky-high value. Experts believe that during the minting process at one of the U.S. Mint facilities, a mechanical failure or slight miscalibration in the high-speed presses may have caused multiple dies to clash or align improperly, resulting in overlapping impressions that created a dramatic doubled image on both sides of the coin, especially around the inscriptions, "In God We Trust," and "Liberty," on the obverse, and "1 cent," and "E pluribus unum" on the reverse, which immediately indicated a classic case of a double die error, one of the most sought-after and valuable mistakes in U.S. coinage history. What makes the 2023 1 cent even more remarkable is that it doesn't just have one or two flaws, it has several combined in a way that's nearly impossible to replicate, suggesting that this coin may have been struck during a rare moment when multiple errors coincided due to equipment malfunction, perhaps during a die changeover or a brief lapse in quality control, leading to a coin that embodies multiple minting anomalies in one specimen. Some numismatists have speculated that the planchet used for this coin may not have been the usual copper-plated zinc but rather an experimental alloy planchet that somehow got mixed into the cent production line, possibly from leftover material meant for another denomination or from testing procedures the mint occasionally conducts, which would explain the unusual luster and color tone that experts noticed under magnification. This type of wrong planchet error is among the rarest in coin collecting, and when combined with a double die and misstrike, the rarity multiplies exponentially, turning the 2023 1 cent into a specimen so unique that no other known coin from that year shares all these traits together, thus pushing its estimated value to around $7 million at auction. The coin also displays subtle but distinct die cracks running across Lincoln's shoulder and the field near the date, suggesting that the die used to strike it was under immense pressure or possibly nearing the end of its life, producing dramatic flaws that collectors often call cuds, when part of the design is filled or broken, which adds to the coin's charm and appeal because it captures a real moment in minting history where human error and mechanical strain created beauty out of imperfection. Another interesting aspect is that the reverse of the coin shows signs of a partial blockage, meaning that another coin may have been stuck to the die during striking, leaving a mirrored, ghost-like image on one side, something that only happens in extremely rare conditions inside mint presses running at incredible speeds. When this coin was first discovered in circulation by an unsuspecting collector who received it in change from a convenience store, it seemed like a slightly odd penny, but the collector's keen eye noticed the doubling on Lincoln's eye and the distorted 2023 date, prompting them to take a closer look under a magnifying glass, and that's when the unbelievable discovery unfolded. Word spread quickly through online coin forums and social media platforms, and within weeks experts confirmed that this 2023 penny was no ordinary error coin, it was an extraordinary multi-error specimen that combined nearly every major type of minting flaw known to numismatics. Coin grading services like PCGS and NGC authenticated it, awarding it a special designation and labeling it as one of the rarest modern Lincoln cents ever found, a true one-of-a-kind error piece. The coin's estimated auction value skyrocketed as collectors, investors, and even museums vied for ownership, with offers reaching millions of dollars as the bidding war intensified. Why would someone pay $7 million for a penny, you may ask? The answer lies in the rarity factor, historical significance, and the sheer improbability of such a combination of errors occurring naturally in a modern minting environment where quality control is usually near perfect, making this coin not just a curiosity but a masterpiece of accidental artistry. Collectors see it as a tangible piece of history, a representation of how even the most advanced technology can produce unexpected marvels, and owning it is like holding a miracle of minting, a testament to how small mistakes can create immense value. Some experts even compared its importance to legendary coins like the 1943 copper cent or the 1955 double-die penny, saying that the 2023 $7 million cent might become the 21st century's equivalent in terms of fame and desirability. What makes it even more fascinating is the mystery surrounding how such an error escaped detection. Mints have rigorous inspection systems, automated visual scanners, and weight checks, so for a coin like this to slip through means it may have been struck at a moment when multiple systems malfunctioned simultaneously or perhaps during a shift change when human oversight was minimal, leading to this rare escapee that ended up in public circulation. The possibilities of how it came to be are numerous. Perhaps the die was reinstalled incorrectly after maintenance, causing doubling. Maybe a blank planchet of the wrong composition accidentally entered the press, or it could even be a result of die misalignment caused by excessive vibration or pressure fluctuation during high-speed production runs. Each of these factors on its own could create a minor error coin, but together they produced something beyond rare, a perfect storm of minting mishaps. Collectors and researchers studied the coin's microscopic details, scanning it with high-resolution imaging to understand every nuance, and they discovered that even the microstriations on the surface told a story of metal stress, heat, and force unlike typical 2023 cents. The rim displayed partial reading impressions from adjacent strikes, the fields showed microbubbles beneath the plating layer, and there were traces of lamination errors where the copper layer slightly peeled, revealing zinc underneath, further adding layers of complexity to this numismatic marvel. Each of these tiny imperfections contributes to the uniqueness and ultimately to the multi-million-dollar valuation. The $7 million 2023 1 cent has now become a legend in the coin collecting world, sparking renewed interest among people who might have ignored their loose change before, inspiring thousands of new collectors to start examining pennies closely in hopes of finding another fortune hidden in plain sight. The story of this coin also teaches a powerful lesson about the unpredictability of value, how something as small and common as a penny can become a life-changing discovery through a combination of luck, attention to detail, and a bit of historical serendipity. Auctions that featured similar but less dramatic error coins saw massive spikes in participation, as everyone wanted to be part of the excitement surrounding modern mint errors. Experts now emphasize that the 2023 cent represents the future of coin collecting. Modern coins with extraordinary mistakes are becoming the new frontier for investors because they merge contemporary production with timeless rarity. While older coins have their charm, it's the unexpected modern finds that capture imaginations today, and the 2023 penny leads that movement. Some speculate that there might be more of these multi-error coins still undiscovered, sitting in jars, registers, or bank rolls waiting for someone with a sharp eye to notice them. That possibility alone has fueled an entire wave of treasure hunting among everyday people, making the humble penny once again a symbol of hidden fortune. Next, 1995, D1 cent coin, to another incredible and mind-blowing video where we dive deep into the fascinating world of coins that look ordinary but hold the potential to change your life forever. And today's episode is going to leave you speechless because we're uncovering the mystery of the 1995 D1 cent coin, a simple Lincoln penny from the Denver Mint that, due to a rare combination of minting errors and mechanical mishaps, has become one of the most sought-after treasures in modern numismatic history, with certain examples reportedly valued at an astonishing $4 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single cent coin that could be worth more than a luxury mansion, a fleet of cars, or even an entire business, and this isn't fiction or exaggeration. This is the strange but true story of how imperfections in a tiny copper-plated zinc coin transformed it from everyday currency into an ultra-rare collectible that the most passionate coin collectors and investors dream of finding. So get ready to explore how these minting errors happen, why they are so valuable, what to look for if you think you might have one, and what makes the 1995 D penny so unique in the long and fascinating history of US coinage, because after this, you'll never look at your loose change the same way again. Now, to truly appreciate why the 1995 D penny holds such immense potential, we need to understand where it fits into the story of the Lincoln cent. The Lincoln cent has been in continuous production since 1909, honoring President Abraham Lincoln and symbolizing America's respect for one of its greatest leaders, and over time, it has seen several design changes, composition shifts, and production improvements, yet despite these technological advances, human and mechanical imperfections still creep into the minting process. The Denver Mint, marked by the small d beneath the date, is known for producing billions of coins every year with precision and efficiency, but in 1995, something unusual occurred. Certain dies used to strike these coins developed alignment issues, doubled impressions, and mechanical failures that led to multiple error types. While Philadelphia had its famous 1995 double die penny, which became an icon of coin collecting, the Denver Mint's rare and extreme error coins from the same year are even scarcer, and some have sold for astronomical amounts due to their distinctive characteristics and the fact that so few exist in pristine condition. So what exactly makes the 1995 D penny worth up to $4 million? It all comes down to errors, rarity, and condition. Some of these coins exhibit a dramatic double die obverse error where the design on the front of the coin, Lincoln's face, the words, "Liberty, in God we trust," or the date, 1995, appears doubled due to the die being struck slightly out of alignment during the hubbing process. This creates a ghosted, overlapping appearance that can be easily spotted even with the naked eye, and the more pronounced the doubling, the higher the value. Other 1995 D pennies show off-center strikes, where the entire design is shifted to one side, leaving a crescent-shaped blank area on the edge. Depending on the degree of off-centering, these can fetch thousands or tens of thousands of dollars, and if the coin also exhibits doubling or other errors, the price can soar into the millions. Then there are broad strikes, which occur when the coin is struck without a proper collar, causing it to spread out wider than normal and lose its defined rim. These broad-struck 1995 D pennies often appear warped or misshapen, but to collectors, that makes them all the more beautiful and valuable because they represent a tangible piece of minting history gone wrong in the most visually striking way. Some of the most extraordinary 1995 D pennies were struck on the wrong planchets, meaning they were accidentally minted on metal blanks intended for other denominations, such as dimes, nickels, or even foreign coins. When this happens, the resulting coin has a completely different weight, thickness, or color than a normal penny, and such coins are so rare that each confirmed example becomes a one-of-a-kind collectible. Imagine finding a 1995 D penny that's the size and color of a dime but bears the image of Abraham Lincoln. That's the kind of error that drives collectors wild and pushes prices to insane levels. There are also 1995 D pennies that feature die cracks, die chips, and die clashes, each of which adds unique character to the coin. A die crack occurs when the die used to strike the coin begins to fracture, leaving raised lines or extra metal on the coin's surface. These cracks can appear anywhere but are especially dramatic when they run across Lincoln's face or through the lettering, creating what collectors call scarred or lightning varieties. A die chip, on the other hand, happens when a small piece of the die breaks away, leaving behind a raised blob of metal, often seen on the letters or near the rim, and these can be nicknamed based on their location, like cut errors. Die clash errors are even more fascinating. These occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a blank coin between them, imprinting faint ghost-like outlines of the opposite design onto each side of the next coin struck. This results in haunting shadow images of the Lincoln Memorial or Lincoln's portrait overlapping the regular design, and collectors prize these coins for their eerie beauty and the story they tell about the raw power of the minting machines. In 1995, the Denver Mint was operating under enormous pressure to meet production quotas, and that high-speed production environment made it easier for such errors to slip through unnoticed. Once these flawed coins entered circulation, most people never realized their potential value because to the casual observer, they just looked like any other penny, slightly off perhaps but nothing special. However, as coin experts began cataloging and studying these errors, the 1995 D penny quickly gained legendary status among collectors. The rarest examples, those combining multiple errors, struck in pristine condition, and authenticated by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC, have fetched astronomical prices at private sales and auctions, with some reaching as high as $4 million. The allure of the 1995 D penny lies not only in its rarity but also in its symbolism. It represents the perfect storm of history, craftsmanship, and imperfection. Each error tells a story of human ingenuity and mechanical limitation colliding to create something unintentionally unique. For collectors, that's what makes coin hunting so exciting. It's not just about metal, it's about discovery, chance, and the thrill of finding something extraordinary hidden in the ordinary. Even minor 1995 D errors have gained significant attention, such as pennies with weak strikes, where certain details like Lincoln's hair or the lettering on the reverse appear faint due to insufficient pressure during minting. Others have partial collars, where part of the rim appears normal while another section bulges out due to a misaligned collar die. Some even show striking rotation errors, where the front and back designs are not perfectly aligned. If you flip the coin and the reverse design is tilted or upside down, that's an error collectors pay big money for. Another unique variation of 1995 D pennies involves plating problems caused by the copper coating not adhering properly to the zinc core, leading to bubbles, blisters, or peeling copper layers. These plating errors can make the coin's surface look rippled or uneven, and in some cases, the underlying silvery zinc core becomes visible, creating a visually dramatic contrast. If the coin combines a plating issue with doubling or die cracks, the value can shoot up exponentially. The composition itself plays a role in why these coins are so fascinating. Since 1982, U.S. pennies have been made primarily of zinc with a thin copper plating, which makes them susceptible to certain kinds of defects that older bronze cents wouldn't exhibit. Over time, exposure to air and moisture can cause the zinc to corrode beneath the copper layer, creating additional toning or discoloration patterns that, while not technically errors, can make each coin's appearance truly unique. Collectors often look for coins that not only have visible errors but also maintain their original luster, because coins with full red coloration, the bright, glossy copper finish straight from the mint, are considered the most desirable. When a 1995 D penny with a major error is also graded in high mint state condition, say MS-68 or MS-69, it can command astronomical prices. Even MS-67 examples with dramatic doubling or off-metal strikes can sell for hundreds of thousands, and when you factor in provenance, historical context, and collector demand, that's how the multimillion-dollar figure becomes entirely possible. What's fascinating is that even though the Philadelphia 1995 double die is better known, the Denver errors are far rarer, which makes them far more valuable to serious numismatists who understand how scarcity drives price. It's a perfect example of supply and demand in action, while millions of ordinary 1995 D pennies exist. Last 2010 D 1-cent coin, to another thrilling and eye-opening episode where we uncover the unbelievable secrets hiding in the smallest places, and today's story will absolutely blow your mind because we're talking about a tiny coin that most people overlook every single day, a coin that could turn out to be worth an astonishing $3 million if you happen to have the right one. Yes, we're diving deep into the mysterious and fascinating case of the 2010 D 1-cent coin, a penny that, under normal circumstances, is worth just 1 cent, yet in the strange and unpredictable world of numismatics, certain 2010 D Lincoln pennies have become treasures of unimaginable value due to rare and dramatic minting errors, production flaws, and other fascinating mistakes that transform this small copper-plated zinc coin into a priceless artifact of minting history. So sit tight, because by the time we're done exploring the reasons why this coin has skyrocketed in value, you might just find yourself running to check your spare change, coin rolls, or that old jar sitting on your dresser, because who knows, you might be holding on to a fortune without even realizing it. The 2010 D penny was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities of the United States Mint, known for producing billions of coins every year, yet even in a facility with state-of-the-art technology and tight quality control, errors can and do happen, and when they do, collectors from all over the world scramble to find and authenticate these rare mistakes. The 2010 Lincoln cent features the familiar design of Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, a portrait that has been used since 1909, symbolizing the nation's respect for the 16th President of the United States. The reverse design at this time displayed the Union Shield, introduced in 2010, representing Lincoln's role in preserving the United States as one nation. But within that transition, the 2010 pennies, especially those from the Denver Mint, became the source of multiple rare minting errors that created some of the most unique examples in modern U.S. coinage. The combination of new design elements, machine calibration, and the massive number of coins struck that year meant that some batches came out with striking mistakes that went unnoticed until coin collectors and roll hunters began to inspect them closely. Among the most valuable 2010 D pennies are those with double die errors, off-center strikes, broad strikes, die cracks, die clashes, and even coins struck on the wrong planchets. Some examples of the 2010 D penny display the doubling most notably on the word Liberty, on the letters of In God We Trust, or on the date 2010, giving the appearance that the design has been stamped twice slightly out of alignment. This happens when the die that imprints the design onto the blank coin planchet shifts slightly between strikes during the hubbing process. Such double die errors are incredibly popular among collectors because they are unique and can't be reproduced. Every coin with such an error carries its own individual fingerprint of imperfection. Some 2010 D pennies also exhibit severe off-center strikes, where the design is not centered properly on the coin, leaving part of the surface blank. Depending on how off-center the strike is, say 10%, 25%, 50%, or even 75%, the coin's value can jump from a few dollars to thousands or even millions when combined with pristine condition and rarity. Coins that show both an off-center strike and a partial missing design are considered minting marvels because they represent a complete breakdown in the normally flawless minting process. There are even cases of 2010 D pennies struck on the wrong metal planchets, such as being accidentally struck on a blank intended for a dime, nickel, or foreign coin. These coins will have unusual weights and color tones compared to regular pennies, which makes them easy to spot once you know what to look for. Such wrong planchet errors are exceedingly rare, but when authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC, they can sell for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars at auction. Then there are die crack errors, where the die used to strike the coin develops a fracture or small break due to overuse or pressure, resulting in raised lines or extra metal blobs appearing on the coin. In 2010 D pennies, some die cracks form fascinating patterns across Lincoln's face, coat, or the Union Shield on the reverse, and these are affectionately called cracked skull, broken coat, or lightning bolt varieties by collectors. Each variation tells a story about the physical strain the minting equipment endures while striking millions of coins daily. Another dramatic kind of error that adds huge value to 2010 D pennies is the die clash error, where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint impressions of one side's design on the opposite side. This results in ghost-like images that overlap Lincoln's portrait or the shield design, making the coin a haunting and beautiful accident of minting. Coins showing clear die clash marks that are easy to identify are among the most sought after by collectors because they display an unmistakable and visually stunning error pattern. And when a coin features a combination of these errors, say a double die with a die crack and off-center strike, the value can skyrocket exponentially. Some numismatic experts have reported that near-perfect examples of these compounded 2010 D penny errors could easily fetch up to $3 million or more depending on the buyer's passion and the coin's condition. The fascination with the 2010 D penny also lies in its timing in the history of U.S. coinage. The introduction of the Union Shield reverse in 2010 marked the beginning of a new design era after the Lincoln bicentennial coins of 2009, and this transition created logistical challenges at the mints as new dies and machinery were introduced. The Denver Mint, known for its massive production capacity, faced intense demand that year, and experts believe that the stress on the machinery and rapid production schedules contributed to the rise in minting errors. Many of these flawed coins were likely mixed into regular circulation unnoticed, which means some could still be out there today, sitting quietly in jars, cash registers, or bank rolls, waiting to be discovered. Imagine finding one of these multimillion-dollar treasures in your pocket change. That's what keeps the excitement alive for collectors and treasure hunters alike. The material composition of the 2010 penny itself also plays a role in its uniqueness. It's composed of 97.5% zinc and only 2.5% copper plating, a composition used since 1982 to save on production costs. However, the thin copper plating can sometimes fail to adhere properly to the zinc core during minting, resulting in coins with exposed zinc areas or bubbling surfaces. These plating errors, while common in minor form, can be worth a fortune when combined with other minting anomalies or when they appear dramatically on both sides of the coin. Some collectors have documented 2010 pennies where the copper layer has peeled partially, revealing silvery zinc underneath, a striking visual contrast that instantly attracts buyers. Others have found examples where the plating caused blistering, giving the coin a textured, almost alien-like appearance. The more visually dramatic the defect, the more collectors are willing to pay, especially if the coin remains in uncirculated condition. High-grade examples, certified as MS-68 or MS-69 read by professional grading services, are rare in themselves, and when such a coin also has an obvious minting error, the value multiplies several times over. The most astonishing thing about the 2010 penny's rise in value is how ordinary it appears at first glance. To an untrained eye, it looks like any other coin, but under magnification, the microscopic details tell a story of precision gone slightly awry, a testament to how imperfection can create perfection in the world of collectors. Every collector dreams of finding the next big discovery, and coins like the 2010 penny prove that lightning can strike in the most unexpected places. It's also worth noting that the Denver Mint's D mark makes this coin especially interesting because while both Philadelphia and Denver produced billions of 2010 pennies, the Denver errors seem to be more distinct and varied. Experts theorize that specific die sets at Denver were used longer than intended, leading to deterioration that caused doubling, die chips, and other anomalies. Some rare 2010 pennies even exhibit a visible die break running through Lincoln's eye or mouth, giving the impression of tears or a scar, a dramatic and collectible feature that turns a small mistake into a conversation piece worth thousands. Another fascinating category is the off-metal or transitional error, where a coin is struck using leftover planchets from a previous year or another denomination. If a 2010 penny was accidentally struck on a bronze planchet instead of the zinc one, for example, it would instantly become a multimillion-dollar rarity because bronze planchets were discontinued decades earlier. Such coins are almost impossible to find but have been documented in other years, which fuels the possibility that some could exist for 2010 as well.